And now we welcome Victoria Preservation. They're here to talk to us about the upcoming cemetery tours. Welcome to Community Crossroads.
Glad to be here, thanks.
It's
nice to see you.
Great to see y'all, Susan Morrison and Jeffrey Wright. So talk to us about this year's tour. I know I've been on a few, and it's always a lot of fun as the evenings begin a little bit earlier in the day, right?
Yeah. So this year, just to get it out of the way, it'll be Friday the 27th, Saturday the 28th. One of the interesting things we get to do this year, because obviously next year is Victoria's bicentennial, so this year and next year with the tour, we're focusing on characters that would have been, having something to do with the colonial period, the Texas Republic period, very early Victoria. So we've got some very interesting characters from those periods that we're going to show this year.
Oh, that you're going to include this year?
Yes, this year and next year.
And next year. So this year is kind of like the rehearsal for next year.
Actually, no, they're completely different. It's just like, we figured with the bicentennial coming up, it'd be a great theme to have the early Victoria stuff. So everybody this year, next year is going to be very, very early Victoria with some great stories to tell.
And what is it like being a character? Susan, I know you've been a character in the past.
It's wonderful. It's a great opportunity to do the research, and then you get to actually bring that person to life and tell their story as if you are them. And part of our goal at VPI is to educate, and if you're a good educator, you want to engage people, so you want them to be entertained. If you just recite a bunch of facts, people aren't going to remember that. But if you tell the story as if it happened to you and engage them as a person, they remember it, and it's much more entertaining for them.
Are the actors mostly, I know they're a secret until the actual event, but are they mostly members of VPI or volunteers?
So it's a mix. Some have been doing it for the last 10 years and do it just about every year. We also like to mix in some new folks, so we'll have one or two at least every year that are new, just to cycle some new people in. So yeah, it's a mix.
And in the past, I know there's always Martin DeLeon, and then there are some characters that are created, just kind of based on the time.
No,
oh,
they're all real people.
They're all real people.
They're all real people.
Because they're next to their graves.
Well, and even if they aren't, sometimes they aren't buried in Evergreen Cemetery. There's one this year, like J.M.J. Carvajal, who was very instrumental in the founding of Victoria, was married to one of Martina and Patricia's daughters. He is buried somewhere else because that man got around. He had a very interesting life. But so he will be at a strategic spot. We try to work it out so that it's a nice walk around in Evergreen Cemetery, so that you're not going back and forth, that it's a nice stroll, and you've been on those and you know about that.
Yeah, and sometimes, do y'all do those cemetery etchings with the children, or is that a different event?
So in the past, we've done some of those with some groups from different schools and whatnot,
but etchings, yeah.
But haven't done those in quite a while. But that's something that we have done in the past.
You may revisit.
If a school reaches out and would like to, I'd love to take them out in the cemetery, especially when it's nice and cool like this.
It is so nice outside, and a cemetery walk, I actually went on one last week, and it's really refreshing, actually. All right, well, coming up, don't go anywhere, more Community Crossroads.